Hello, team.
Hi, good morning.
So we have lots of new members in the team, which is really
Yeah,
nice.
well
And
done
it's
to you,
been
by the way.
massive improvement of kind of registration and everything. And I'm going to just kind of go through the people who are on here. Kind of David and Jax. Well done. You've had an amazing week, and as you said, it's not over yet. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to.
Well, it was really. It's when you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. They come along and they see something, and I linked with two people on Friday who came along to Sunday. Jack's linked with one who came along on Sunday. One of them came back Sunday night to say, "I'm in. Let's speak tomorrow," and she signed up with an ultimate. The other girl who you spoke to for us, the Irish girl, she's really keen, but she wants to do some more investigation, which is absolutely fantastic. So she's all in the pipeline. I had another pharmacist that
Cold one, wasn't it? That was you reached out on social media.
Yeah, reached out on social media. I just put in about the sheepreneur, and she just come back and said, "Tell me more. Can I come?" Came along, absolutely loved it. But she's the one who's got health issues.
Yeah.
So just had a really good chat with her the other evening. Rumaya, who came along, who had to leave early. She's signed up ultimate. Had a three-way with Dave. She's really keen. I've had another guy who's a pharmacist. He signed up. He paid for his kit last night. We done a little call for him on Thursday. And some of the older people that we've kept in touch with. Jackson's kept in touch with. One this morning that we spoke to, or you tell, sorry.
Yeah, Dave did a voicemail on the 90-day, I think it was the 90-day run, talking about now's the time for connections you've had in the pipeline. So I went back, and this guy, I completely forgotten about her. She was right at the bottom of WhatsApp, so go to your bottom of your messages, guys. And I was like, I don't remember this, but we obviously had several conversations, and I just messaged her. I spent 45 minutes last night just dropping voicemail messages to all the people in there. One was her. She come back this morning, said, I've been thinking about Zinzino recently. I'm working full time now, but I'm seeing private clients, and I think it would be a fit for that. So
Great.
that was
Going back over, and it's reaching out, as you said, voice messages. Just doing text messages, it doesn't work. People ignore them. People don't really. They get hundreds of text messages. I get loads, and have to go through them. But voice messages, I'll go, oh, that must be important.
Yeah.
So well done, you. I'm really proud of you. And are you over exec now and on the way to
over exec?
Oh, well over. Yeah, we are. Gosh, reporting. We're 759 away from platinum. But because we've had two ultimates, we've got the bonus coming through, I think, haven't we?
I thought we'd had that.
No. Oh. We had 200 put in banking from last month for hitting the 6, so that's gone on there. So we're waiting for another 500 to go on. So it's 500 on both sides. So we're 300 away. So
well done, too.
So have you upgraded your goal for this month?
Well, yeah.
No, we haven't. We said diamond.
We said diamond. We said diamond.
Yeah.
We're really pushing for diamond.
Yeah, I know. Well, but you're gonna nail that without any trouble at all, I suspect.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because
no, we haven't. We're concentrating on getting
diamond and a solid one.
Solid diamond, and 2. We want all of our partners to get 2 partners this month. That's what we're working.
Yeah, that's a great goal to have, because it's not what you do ultimately, is it?
No.
What happens within the organisation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Stuff, so, yeah.
Well done, you two. I'm really proud of you. Paul, how are you doing? Oh, Jazz is there as well.
Sorry. Yeah, I've had a very, very quiet week. Good week online, but not a particularly brilliant week during the week. I had one person I met for coffee the other day, and who's into football, and he was going to watch a recorded version because he can't make any of the live versions because he works every evening, and he hasn't done it. I saw him last night, and he hasn't done it yet. So, you know, I said to him, "Well, when are you going to do it?" And he said, "I'll do it Monday." So, you know.
Remember that Chris Voss, I love this phrase. Have you given up on our deal?
Yeah.
Send a message if he doesn't do it on Monday.
Yeah.
Have you given up on it? Because that brings back results, whatever happens. Anyway, okay, thanks, Paul. Anything else you want to go for? No, he's muted out.
Just going round the.
You're next to be heard from if you're open to it. Have you frozen?
Oh, Angus
is either frozen or has something more serious has happened. Angus, talk to us.
No, next, Paul. Warren.
Warren, let's move on to Warren.
Morning, everybody. This week I've started developing quite a few more conversations. Still not enough, but more conversations nonetheless. My nephew and his partner were at Shan's gig last night in Auckland, so I'm waiting to get feedback from them as well. I'm in conversation with a young entrepreneur from South Africa. He's a bit concerned about scams and this and that because he's been burned in the past, and he's with one other MLM. I can't remember the name. Similar to Forever Living, but another one. Similar name to Forever Living. What's that?
doTERRA?
No. The name is similar to Forever Living, but it's a different company. But nevertheless, I've got him to go back and have a look at the information again, and then we touching base again tomorrow, and I'm going to get a final word from him on that. But there's a lot of potential with him. He's a young, bright young guy, and so a few conversations at the moment, nothing too serious, except for I'm looking forward to hearing back from my nephew and that. My biggest challenge, and I mentioned this to Nigel the other day in the call, is my reaching out to people that I know personally, you know, and I've always had an issue with that. You know, strangers I don't necessarily have a problem with, but it's the people that I know personally, and I'm working on that. And I was telling Nigel a story the other day, so yeah, you'll understand it.
Share that story with the group. Do it.
You know, I don't know, from a cathartic perspective and from a healing point of view, you know, it's something I've always known to be very powerful is when you get into it, you go into an isolated space and you just scream and shout and let it all out, you know. Yeah. And it's something I haven't done for a very, very long time, and that pressure's been building up on me, the expectation that I have in myself, the accountability as well, which is what I really need somebody to hold me accountable daily, and I've realized that, because it's like learning a language. Unless you're doing it every single day, it's never going to work, you know. And I need somebody to be accountable for me to be accountable to every single day. And that was building up inside me. So I decided the other day, I dropped my daughter off at school up in the mountains and the forests. And I thought, okay, I'll go find a nice secluded spot and park the car and just let rip. Exactly. And I did so. And I was in such flow. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. And this voice came out of me. I've never heard this pitch before. You know, I've always wanted to be a singer, but I knew I couldn't be. All of a sudden, this pitch came out of me. I was like, where did that come from? And I was really feeling cathartic through the process. And would you believe it? Some guy comes and parks his car right next to mine.
Was the universe?
What's that?
You should have prospected him.
I just thought the same thing as I said it to you now. I should have prospected him. Yeah.
You're right in the mood as well. You know, I mean,
exactly.
Just sharing first that way. Fantastic.
Well done.
We can all learn something from that. I don't. How many of you were at the last Zinzino annual event where David J.P. Phillips was talking? Kelly was there. I'm pretty sure of that. Do you remember what he was talking about in terms of getting yourself prepared and raising? I've forgotten the chemical pathways that are actually affected here.
Serotonin.
Serotonin.
It was the testosterone. That yelling was you did a certain breathing and then you just let rip with a roar to bring up the testosterone.
And that's great for preparation for things you don't want to do. You know, I mean, because essentially it's kind of girding your loins would be the term I suppose it could be used. It's essentially focusing your effort to make it happen. You always see at the beginning of sort of medieval war movies, the whole lot yelling their heads off as they go into battle. Well, that's essentially what you're doing, isn't it? You're making that pathway work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly, for supporting that. Yeah, well done, Warren. Well, listen, I'll act as your daily accountability buddy. I'm doing it with Angus every day. So if you want me to do that with you, I'm happy to do that, because 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, that's the kind of thing we're generally trying to achieve. Well, unless there's a major issue. Yes.
Can I just say that Kelly has asked if she can do a daily, like she voicemails me about what she's going to do this day, her prep for today, and then she voice messaged me later on after the day has kind of finished about what she's achieved out of it, and what went right, what didn't go right. So it's just having that, this is what I'm planning to do today, this is what I've achieved, and where I go back from there. And I know that she's more proactive now than she has been, and because it's so easy to let life drift, And
Sue and I yell at each other from upstairs, downstairs. So we're accountable minutes of the day. She cruises past, going back to the kettle. And those are moments of catch up. So yeah, it absolutely does prompt you to keep your head down and keep on track. It is important to have that, especially as essentially this is a business about the long distance. It's the loneliness of the long distance runner largely, because it is a personal event. Every day is, but this accountability makes it much more of a team effort, which is really where you get the leverage and the dynamics from. Anyway, moving on. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you, Nigel.
Simon.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up about doing a daily one. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Even if it's a voicemail.
Yeah. Simon, over to you.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, well,
How are you?
Yes, I'm back home, which is nice. So I guess for me, I mean, the girls have got their own stories of the week. They're making some progress with their pipeline, which has been surprising for them. So Jasmine's got a nice pipeline story, and Dana has. But for me personally, I've just been going through like frustration and glimmers of hope, really. So the plumber that I prospected at work, that is 6 weeks ago now that we did the blood test, and we still not managed to get the order out of him. But that's took a slight turn in as much as his wife is now on board with the products and how that might work with her business. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that he didn't come on, because now he can come on under her, and all of a sudden she's got 4 products. So that is interesting that we didn't push that to a point where it went beyond the tipping point. So I appreciate there's patience involved. Some of the people I reached out to in the last couple of weeks have just blanked me, which is something I'm getting used to. I'm not used to it. Not used to being blanked. Not in my industry. So I've just been taking the tip of having the face-to-face conversation. So I went in the pub last night, stood at the bar, and said to the girl, "Did you not get my message?" And interestingly, she just said, "You know what? I get so many messages. Was it an email or a text?" I said, "You asked me to send you a WhatsApp." She went, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. I will look at it at the weekend." But what was it again? So I managed to have a nice chat with her, and which brought her more on board and helped her to think was there other people that might be interested in the opportunity as well. So for me, it's just been a combination of that this week, but looking for opportunities, taking every opportunity I can. Oh, that was an interesting one. The photographer came to take some pictures of this property I'm working on, and I'd noticed a South African accent. So I just said to him, "Is that a South African Zimbabwe accent?" He said, "I can't believe it. You're spot on." He said, "How did you know that?" I said, "Because I'm on a team, and I would say a huge percentage of those on my team are from South Africa." "What team's that?" And that was the conversation started. Turns out he was asking his doctor for a gut test just this week and a Omega test. So he was blown away with the information I sent him and just said, "Wow, this is incredible. Give me an opportunity to process it." So
fantastic.
Well done. That 3-foot rule is so powerful. Morning, Dana.
Morning.
One thing I would say your frustration, Simon, is it's the same for all of us, in the sense that, you know, we kind of expect people to see the light as soon as we turn it on. It doesn't actually work like that. It goes back to the basic ideas of in advertising, which is it's all about spaced repetition. You have to remember we're essentially communicating right at the edge of understanding in terms of, you know, gut health, omega-3 balance, 6-3 balance, and so on. This is foreign language to most people. It takes that repetition to begin to build awareness in a way which then ultimately starts to stimulate some kind of response. So the follow-up, you know, that hackneyed phrase of the fortunes in the follow-up is so true, because it doesn't, like you've just illustrated, that's a great example of what happens. People drift because they don't actually realize people don't pay attention. You know, think about it, social media now. If you're not scrolling with your thumb like this through your social media, then you're not receiving enough stimulus. It's that problem, isn't it? Nobody's attention is long enough. So you do have to do the follow-up. Anyway, well, that's great. And what about you, Dana? How's your week been? We know you've had some interesting success.
Yeah, so Jazz and I, for the first time, did a first presentation at a salon. So that was good. We got a very nice customer from that. So we went to went to see her yesterday and help her with her blood test. That's good. So she's gonna be a very good customer, which is nice to have. And then following up with a prospective partner this week, and it's been half term, so I left it, and then I contacted her and she hasn't replied, and I'm like, oh no, you know, like, as you do, you go through the emotions. But anyway, then she contacted me and said, oh, it's been busy, and yes, we must get together. And we were going to get together last night with Sue because her blood test results are in. We'd already done a test, but she's a midwife and she was on call, so she couldn't make it. So hopefully over the weekend or next week.
Cool, good.
We're around all weekend, so
yeah, I did say to her about. So
yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well done. Kelly, how are you doing?
So I had a very challenging week in that loads of no's, okay? One was a not now, they weren't in the right place, and people who aren't answering as well. And yeah, I found it really a challenging week. And that's where I am. I just did more reach outs, that's all. So I kept going. That's the good thing, is what the accountability for Warren, I presume you're still listening, Warren, but what the accountability does is, because I was checking in with Sue, it meant that I just, I kept going. Instead of having the pity party all by myself and staying in the pity party for days, I thought, well, I'm just going to reach out and tell Sue, it's not so good today. It's actually really rotten, sort of thing. And I'm really frustrated, and I can't believe it. And one of them, she did, marketing, she did network marketing before, and she even said she was really brilliant. And I do understand why she's not joining, because she's had 2 deaths recently that affected her a lot. So I do understand, but it's so frustrating, sort of thing. And, and that's how I felt. So that's what I did, Warren. I let rip on the phone. I said, it's actually really frustrating, but I'm keeping going. I'm going to contact more people, but that's how I feel. Bye, sort of thing. And that's what Sue got. But I did keep going, so I suppose that's the good thing about the accountability. And also, yeah, go on. It's like, the other thing is I've also been talking to Doreen, who's in this team and everything, and that's building my leadership skills in what we're doing. And that's growing hugely, is my leadership skills with other people and helping other people and things like that, and looking at different things. So for instance, tomorrow I'm going to, I've been talking to this other guy who's a nutritionist. He's trying to start his own business. He'd been talking to me on Instagram, and we've had a few conversations, and he's really positive and keen and wants to do it, but he wants to set up his business first. And I'm going, bring it in, sort of thing. So anyway, in the last back and forward, he said that he'd been talking with his colleagues, his team classmates who'd graduated at the same time, and they had said that they were all finding it really hard to start a business, and they were finding it hard to bring in clients and all these things. So I got off the phone, and Ariana's doing an online course, and she's in setting up online classes and how to get people to buy them rather than sell them. So a lot of the information is really interesting. And so I said to her, do you think we could put together a course that we could, you know, a free webinar, and just say to them on the free webinar what we wished we'd learned or known when we started out. So that's what I'm going to do on Sunday. There's 3 of them signed up, so that's cool. And it's a start, and it's where we're going to see how we can give them 3 things on how they could do it. But also part of that is to say that actually every person, and this is an interesting thing that I realized, is every single entrepreneur, person who is starting a practice now at this time, there isn't a hope. If they have a mortgage or young children, then they cannot do it just starting a practice from cold. It isn't possible to get, you know, leave their day job and do this. So it's about explaining that this is what everybody's going through, and why we might want to bring in a second residue, an other source of income or source of monies that is going to build residual. So yeah, so it's been interesting but quite frustrating as well. That's my
well
week.
done, well done. And it's please rant away.
Dan's got a hand up.
That's okay.
He's got a
Dana,
hand.
yeah.
Yes, Dana.
Sorry. Am I muted? No, I feel like there's people who say,
Right.
can you hear me? Sorry, well, just coming back to your frustration, I get it, because we signed up with Sue, a customer, and they kept saying, we're going to join, we're joined. You know, it's 6 weeks later now, and they've not joined, but I phoned her yesterday morning. I just had a gut feeling. I thought, I'm just going to ring her and chat, you know, so I did, because she told me that she has her own business of being a sleep therapist for children. So we got chatting, and she said, and I said, I actually thought you'd be perfect for the business, you know, along with what you're already doing. And she's like, this is perfect timing, Dana. I mean, she hasn't become, her husband's meant to become a customer 6 weeks ago. And now we're thinking, and she's like, because he's poorly, he's thinking of giving up his plumbing business. But I said, well, and she was like, this is just such perfect timing. So patience is good, because we might now get 1 or 2 partners from that.
Well done. Thank you.
I would
Okay.
add to that, Kelly.
Yeah.
I think sometimes if you're talking to people who are starting up like that, they're all having problems getting customers for, you know, PTs with coaching. I've tried it a couple of times, just saying, well, look, you know, this is a fantastic way to make a difference for yourself, put yourself above anybody else.
Ooh, yes, I like that.
You know, I totally understand what you're doing. We speak to so many people who are starting up businesses, but what we've found is that offering something completely different puts you above everybody else.
Yeah. Well
Okay.
done. Thank you, David.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
That's Jazz.
Let's hear from you.
Unmute yourself, my darling.
Morning.
Morning,
Morning.
sweetheart.
How are you doing? Yes, so I've had a
Go on.
pardon?
No, go.
Yes, it's been a good week. I'm also feeling a little bit, well, I was feeling frustrated until yesterday because I still haven't got my first customer yet. I'm still working on that. So yesterday though, Sue and I had a really nice call. I'd reached out to a nutritionist, and she's in the New Forest as well. And she actually did a whole dissertation on omegas, didn't she? So that was a really nice chat. So hopefully she might come on as a customer or maybe even a partner.
Well,
And then
we booked her for half an hour. We were on for an
Yes.
hour and a half.
I know, an hour and a half. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it was
Really-
very good. Really lovely
Fingers-
lady.
Well done, well done. Tom, are you able to unmute? Moving along swiftly, Wasama. Oh no, Tom's out there. Tom, you're unmuted
There
now.
we go.
Oh, upside down. Oh, God.
We've done the 360.
We've done the 360. Well, good morning.
Upside down can be good.
How's your week been?
Well, we did get that lady on, but unfortunately she was, we did a three-way. Unfortunately, she was in another team.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a couple of good health experts interested. Unfortunately, there's a big event on this weekend, and a lot of them it's a functional medicine weekend. So they're at that. So hopefully at the next week they'll come back on and talk. We've given them all the information that they were looking for.
Great.
There are a couple of other people are having a look at it. We've no customers, I don't think, this week. But yeah, we're
Well done.
You're close to top team again, aren't you?
Yeah.
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 Good.
Well done.
Good.
Well done.
Well done.
So it happens once you've reached top team. Tom's been there for a long time now, and then we get customers who drop off or become partners, and so those diminish again. So it's building it back up again. So he's very close to being back on the top team, which is great.
Tom, this functional medicine event, is it an exhibition or is it a conference or what?
It's a conference.
Okay. Not open to the public?
Yeah. It's €400 to go for the 2 days.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I understand why you're not there then.
Go and hang around outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm on street canvassing.
Yeah. Just really finding out what your opinion is of this. No. Yeah, go and take a clipboard up there. Wasama.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Thanks, Tom.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm doing most of my prospecting on Instagram, and I've got activity goals rather than a rank goal.
Yeah, that's fine.
However, with the 1,000 credits, I want to achieve that 1,000 credit banking. In terms of results, I ran past an old friend, not old friend, but a guy I knew way back in the day. He was a landlord, and had a conversation with him. He said that I asked him to get the protocol, and I've shared the shared link, where you put all the products in, and then you share that link.
Part, yeah.
Right. My question is, we don't mention the Black Friday deals, right? If we're talking to people that are interested. Okay. All right.
No.
Not at the moment.
Definitely not, because we don't know what they are.
We don't know what they are.
So all you do is build in delay by doing that, because everyone goes, "Oh, I'll wait until Black Friday then," and then you've got exactly the same job to do, but after Black Friday. So you just kick it down the road for 2 weeks at least. So no, don't do that. Ignore the Black Friday event. You deal with the fallout if there is any.
Okay. To speed things up, for example, if you've got a vitamin D test and a HB, I forgot the letters. If you got the sugar test and the gut test, would you offer that to someone to speed up the sale?
Well, those tests aren't a subscription.
I understand, but for example, if someone is contemplating to getting a protocol, would you just throw in and say, "Hey, listen, if you get this now, I'll throw in"?
No, absolutely not. No.
Have you got some tests at home then?
I have, yeah.
I wouldn't throw in tests anyway, because our own experience of giving away tests is they virtually always go nowhere, because there's no skin in the game. You're investing in their health recognition rather than they're doing it for their own reason.
I think the only time I would do it is if it's a game changer. The vitamin D test. Vitamin D is very cheap to, it's a really low value.
Yeah. Right.
And it's £6 a month. So it's not a huge expense for someone. But if they're unaware whether they're in or out of balance, I probably would, and just say, look, but instead of sending it to him, meet up with him and say, let's go and have a coffee, and I'd like to do a vitamin D test. You know, it's a gift from me if you do the health protocol.
Sue and I differ here, because I wouldn't be doing that.
We do differ.
I don't do that because of my own experience.
Customers have you got?
Well, not enough, but my own experience is whenever we have over the years given away tests, they've never come back to us.
Right.
Either in terms of acceptance of becoming customers or becoming, it's not a lost leader. It is a lost leader, but effectively you're paying for it.
Okay.
The balance test is slightly different because that's more cost value. Are you off? Do you want to say something?
Yes. So I've used tests like that in different scenarios with different people, and some you win, some you don't. The way I started to look at it was there's always a cost in running a business. So it's this, to me, this was not as big a cost, say, as renting a room or things like that. So I wouldn't do with everybody, but if I thought there was a big potential, or I thought that somebody was keen or down the line, like I have a lovely guy I was talking to on Instagram. We met, he was really keen. He then went away and talked to everybody and wouldn't come on to a Zoom with Dave or anybody, but he started to talk to everybody and started to ask all his friends, and this because he was so excited, and he was getting all the skepticism back, and he wasn't answering. I didn't know this at first because he wasn't answering my messages. Then he answered his message and said, I've been talking to everybody, and you know what, they're just not really receptive or whatever. Anyway, whatever words he used and everything. So I said, okay. I said, stop talking to everybody. I said, with love, I'm telling you, stop talking to everybody. I said, because this is what, when you come on in the business, this is what's being taught, is what to share and how to share it. And also, you don't have all this information. You don't know it. So you would put them in contact with me or somebody else on the team to share the information. So anyway, eventually he came back to me. I kept up the chat, and he did come back to me again, and he said, I've decided to be a customer at the moment, not this was a text back. I've decided to be a customer, not a partner at the moment. I said, that's great. So this was talking to Ariana, so I have to give credit to Ariana here. Ariana said, well, that's really good. You've got another customer. And I said, yes, that's how I should look at it. So I said, that's great. Delighted, you came to that decision. You realized what was best for you. So let's arrange time to get you signed up as a customer and start your journey or whatever. So we did. So we arranged for a Zoom call last Thursday, the next sort of thing. So we did the Zoom call, and I showed him what it was with the balance oil and test. And I said, look, actually, he said, well, I could do it without the test. And I said, yes, you could. However, I said, you need the second test. And let me do this for you. You sign up with the test, the first test that normally I would replace the one I'd used with you. I'm going to leave it to come to you, and you can test your wife. I said, it's my gift to you, and do that. So this was all very exciting, and it's fine. And then he said, yes, but he said, look, I actually won't have that money till the 19th. So I said, that's fine. We'll come back on the 19th and everything like that. So I think, Osama, it's about learning. Sometimes you lose them, sometimes you don't. However, for me, I look at it like the cost of running the business is I use them sometimes is the answer.
I think you're absolutely right, and and you have to judge each person as they are. But kind of the fact that this guy is probably going to come on with a protocol.
I wouldn't do all three, by the way. Wouldn't give him all three.
What, 3 tests?
Yeah.
No. I would only give him the vitamin D test. Because that's a cheap add-on, but it could be another subscription. Yeah, for sure. The HbA1c actually just doesn't have any product to go with it other than the protocol. So it's not going to benefit you directly. You won't get a subscription out of that. But the vitamin D, and pretty well most people are deficient in vitamin D, especially if he's of darker skin, then they're going to probably be deficient. And you're not going to know. You're not going to know until you test it. So yeah, but well done. both of you, and thank you, Kelly, for your input. It's really
Thank you,
good.
Kelly.
Anything else you want to add, Wazama?
That's all. I've been slow in terms of my Zinzino business type, but I will pick up. I say that every week to you, Nigel. It's become funny now.
This is pick up without doubt.
It's a special month, so I'll pick up.
It's even more special now with the added 500. Well, the added 1,000 in for each side for the 12 action points.
Absolutely.
I mean, actually, for the people coming in this month, if they're just going for their fast starts and they pull in the 2 partners and do nothing else, there's 1,000 in the pocket already.
That's incredible.
I mean, and I had that conversation with the partners. One of the partners we brought on yesterday. I was just saying, well, it's gone up by 1,000 just for doing the work we've already talked about. So let's get on with it. You can use it as an added incentive to actually doing the work they know they have to do anyway, especially if they're a new partner. It's all about the action that's being taken in this period of time, because the next DCBX month will probably be May of next year, because that's traditionally what happens. There's one in May, and then we get 2 in the autumn, September and November. So now is the month to take advantage, because there's a lot more money on the table. They'll probably lose money this month on month, but what they'll do is build up on the momentum that's going to take us through the end of the year. Because remember, the company's still going for its 1 million customers. They're not there yet.
Yeah, not there.
So all good. Anybody got anything they want to add before we kind of wrap up? We're nearly an hour in anyway.
Yeah.
I've got something for Warren if he's still there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's probably.
No, I know Warren feels about ringing people that because it doesn't matter how you say it, you feel that you are asking them to do something for you. And I heard something during the week, and it's really helped me reaching out to people. And basically, I've just been ringing people, leaving a message that I haven't been able to speak to, and saying, are you open to a project? What I'd love to do is run through a plan for you to take some notes, stick it in your back pocket, and if in 2 or 3 or 6 months' time you feel it's appropriate for you, we can get together. And that tends to bring them to a conversation. And we do know when you're sitting in front of somebody, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. But I think for me, it was that not giving them a way out. I just felt I was asking them to do something for me, and I'm trying to get them in. And it kind of reframed it for me a little bit. So I don't know whether that will help.
I think what we all have to recognise is also that timing has to be right for people. And exactly what you were saying, kind of touch base with them. 6 months, Dave, every 6 months, Marco was on his back. Well, not on his back. Hi, Dave, how are you? Just checking in. How's Logan? He was a single dad. How's things? Yeah. And he, not for me. And yet 3 years later, and now look where they are. It has to be the right time.
It's really reframed it for me. So you can actually ask anybody, because all you're going to do is show them, then it's up to them. But just giving them that gets
absolutely
makes it easier for me to ask them.
Kelly, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I want to ask Dave, will you put those 3 nuggets on a voice message into the group? So you can't say the wrong thing to the right person on that one. What you've just said to Warren about stick it in your back pocket, and what you said to me about positioning yourself above everybody else. I remember the 3 things, but could you put in the words that you used? Thank you very much. Thank you.
I was going to like to do the same thing, Kelly. Thank you.
I think you're absolutely right, David. It's like John Canary always used to say, selling is not doing something to someone, it's doing something for them. Because essentially
the other thing is we actually, and I'm not quite sure, I'm not excellent, but actually what we're looking for them to do is buy and not sell them anything. We're actually looking for them to buy in and not feeling that we're selling. And that's what we're all learning here is how to position it so that actually they're going to come to us and buy.
Exposing
need. Yeah.
think it's asking questions, asking
Always,
questions,
always. Yep.
You know, telling someone that they need the health protocol, probably, well, yeah, why? Why would I need that?
Well, people don't really like to be told to do something. You know, there's that. I look back on my life, and I've always had an authority problem. So whenever anyone said to me, "Do that," I would go, "No." My instant reaction was no. So why would it change? Most people are like that. You know, although we're programmed to answer questions when we're told we should do something, people just don't.
Yeah.
It's being contrary, isn't it? Or just human programming. I don't know.
And the funniest thing is Nigel says no, and I'm going, yeah.
my default's no because of that. You know,
that's why we're sitting here after 40 years in the industry.
Which is one of the reasons why my hero in sales, a chap called Benjamin Dennehy, is it Ben? I can't remember his first name. It's Dennehy anyway. Yeah, he always starts his cold calls out with, you know, you're going to hate me. This is a cold call. Do you want to give me 30 seconds or hang up on me now? Now, remember, just work on the way that's phrased. The hang up on me now, people are programmed to say no. And it works in 95% of the time, right? 95. So one out of whatever that is, 5% of people hang up, which is fair enough because he's invited them to do it anyway. And the rest of them normally laugh. People laugh when you do this. People normally laugh and go, well, go on then, you got 30 seconds. And then he always starts out with the pain points. And he describes it as in their world, you know. So if he's talking to someone he specializes in sales training. So his whole conversation starts out with, look, in your world, I bet none of these happen. You know, salespeople who drop close far too quickly, don't follow up enough or quickly enough, you know, and they're very quickly to say someone's not interested. But I'm guessing that none of that's true in your world. And of course it is, because these guys are using their sales managers, sales directors, and so on. So their experience is exactly the same as everybody else's, which is that.
Mr. Dennehy.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, why not? But that's what he teaches. And when you think about the logic of the way that conversation flows, essentially what he's doing is get him to agree with him about their pain. And that's the difference between selling and essentially exposing need. Because what he's done in that conversation is expose need.
It's anyway, very clever.
On that note, I'll leave you with it, or I've finished.
Always remember what Marco said to Dave, which is a really powerful little statement. Would it hurt to look?
Well, exactly. I always say to people, come and say no to me.
Yeah. Would it hurt to look?
Say no to me. I'm only interested in that you do know what you're saying no to. That's it. So, and then I always end on that. Would it be worth the conversation? I've got a guy on Tuesday on exactly that basis. So yeah.
So onward and upward.
Yeah. Well done, everybody.
Well done for those of you. Well done, David, for getting through that executive barrier.
Yeah, smashed it in less than a week.
And yeah. And yes, and you got 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
We've got
Jax. Jax. I'm just going to put Jax in there. Okay.
Thank you, Kelly.
Sorry.
Kelly, it should be and Dave. It's not.
Okay.
It's
cool. Of course.
It's no wonder,
you're my grommet, yeah.
it's no wonder Dave's always exhausted. You know, it's the problem with having a successful, powerful woman in the family.
Listen, it's been great talking to you today. Well done.
Yeah.
Shout if you need us over the weekend, please do. Sue Pagita's in South Africa. She's at the event with Hilda at the moment. So excited about that. Can't wait to hear what she thought of her and how it all went. Anyway, take care.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys. I really liked this call today. It was good. Very productive.
Okay. Good. See you. Bye.